Lawrence, it's a strange thing for a British Prime Minister to say, we'll take the pain, when we could, I'm suggesting, do something about it.
Thank you, Nigel. Yes, we can do something about it. The price of commodities, energy, particularly natural gas, has increased, as you showed earlier in the graph.
Yeah.
But if you look at the retail price of energy bill, and any of your viewers can go to the Ofgem website, there's a nice pie chart to see there. And actually, the raw energy cost, natural gas, is about 43% of the total bill. Whereas if you look at network charges and environmental charges, all these ways we're supporting renewable energy are actually as large, even larger times than the wholesale cost of natural gas.
So these are unnecessary taxes that we've lumped onto our bills to support renewables because we want to reduce our CO2 outputs.
That's correct, Nigel.
Which of itself does have public support.
We have a public support, but I think any government should be transparent and honest about what it's really going to cost to reduce atmospheric CO2 in the way we produce energy. The UK is 1% of global CO2, and frankly, nothing to do would make much difference. The way energy investors are making extraordinary returns. If you look at the Bloomberg index for investors in renewable energy, the hedge funds, the private equity groups, they're earning over almost 17% returns. How are they doing that? Because they're shifting the volumetric risk and many costs on to retail consumers who are actually paying for it. The way we're supporting renewable energy in this country is not fair to retail consumers.
Now, we've gone for wind in a big way. Boris Johnson boasting we've become the Saudi Arabia of wind, and all of that's fine and dandy until the wind doesn't blow. How much, in your estimate, how much untapped natural gas do we have?
The UK has significant shale gas reserves up in Lancashire. There's offshore, and even closer to the capital, there's shale gas in Surrey, which could be produced. We have significant reserves, and but the limits with regard to disturbances, ground disturbances from it, were set way too low, which actually curtailed and prevented much production.
And we also learned, didn't we, that the anti-fracking campaign was backed by Russian money.
Actually, I would agree with that, and I'll even take a story from my early career in BP. We found at BP that when the Canadians were trying to get their gas from Ontario exported to the lower 48 states, they actually supported anti-energy development groups in America. So the idea of using political adversaries against to support your agenda is not new.
You spent your life in the energy business, the commodities business, as an economist. What's your big shout-out to the next Prime Minister? We think it'll be Liz Truss, we don't know, but what would your advice be? I mean, how do we extricate ourselves from this pickle we're in?
We have to be reasonable with regard to what we can actually contribute to reducing global warming. We're only 1% of global CO2, as I said. The way we support renewable energy is not fair to retail consumers. The volumetric risk of the wind not blowing and the sun not shining falls upon retail consumers. Having to pay for the backup to all the gas turbines running at minimum stable generation is not fair to consumers. That's falling them and should fall on investors.
It's the poor that are paying the price, isn't it?
The poor spend more of their energy out of their household bill on energy than say a middle class or richer person. They're probably living in rented accommodation. They can't put solar cells on the roof, and they probably have poor insulation. So yes, supporting renewable energy falls most egregiously upon lower middle income groups.